too long has advertising been used as a tool to manipulate people. Too long has advertising been used to be an unfair means of entry to so many firms around the world. Too long has it been used as a tool to manipulate and ensure that people do not have an efficient startup company, that a company that will one day be successful as the larger companies, right? So that's where we bring the debate to you, where we show you how advertising of non-essential goods have brought about the inefficient economies around the world, where products are no longer evaluated on their prices or their qualities, but just on their brand name, right? So before moving on to the details of my case, let me move on to basic definitions, right? So by non-essential goods, we basically distinguish them from essential goods very simply. Basically, non-essential goods are the goods that you do not require for survival. They're mostly luxury goods, right? And so these goods are usually produced by private companies, right? In the private sector, not usually in the public sector. Right, those are exceptions in that case. Examples includes things used in the ICT industry, for example, computers, smartphones, or even special jewelry for gold or platinum watches, right, etc. like that. So or even high end restaurants even count in the non-essential good definition, right? So what is advertising basically, right? And let's evaluate to what they do, right? Advertising is basically displaying your product to the public. It's the means of making your good more popular and improving your public perception towards that good. It was mainly done to make it as I said, to make it more available, its information or its availability more available to the consumers, and to let people know that it exists and that it's very, very good, right? That's what firms try to introduce into the people, right? So what's the problem that goes on to all the people who actually buy those goods later on, right? And those who produce these goods, and at the end of the day, the minds of the people who buy these goods, right? So those are the three stakeholders that I just mentioned: the consumers, the producers, and the minds and ethics of the people. So what's the problem that exists with companies in our current status? So the thing is, larger companies such as Beats or larger companies such as Sony or Apple already have a huge brand name established within the market, right? So the next time they actually produce a good or service, a new good or service, thing is they don't have to rely on improving the good or decreasing the price necessarily. All they have to do is rely on the brand image, because people know that Beats has been produced for so long. It's been sponsored by Dr. Dre after all, right? So that's what they rely on, and it actually works. People actually buy them, not because of quality, but just because Dr. Dre wore them, or just because Apple has been built personally by Steve Jobs himself, right? So how is it unfair? Not taken. This advantage is not particularly used by smaller firms who don't have this particular advantage, right? So what about the consumers? What are they facing? Thing is, the next time the consumers see a good, what they're not convinced by the quality. They're not convinced by the price. They're just convinced by the materialistic value of them. The fact that someone famous wore them, or it is made by someone famous. That's what consumers think. And what does it make them at the end of the day? It actually changes their ethics for the worse. They actually think that they must buy this. It makes them more materialistic at the end of the day. So these are three problems that are not taken. And I'll show you in my case today how banning advertising of these specific non-essential goods will actually encourage an economy to actually perform much more better, and actually ensure that it ensures a much more fairer economy for all the new firms that'll be new to this, right? So moving on to my constructives, I basically two points of constructive. The first one talks about how it enables a fair economy. The second one talks about how it manipulates consumers, and how passing this motion would disable that manipulation to occur any further in the future, right? So let's move on to my constructive. How it enables a fair economy. Let's evaluate the market that exists in non-essential goods, right? What happens? These non-essential goods are severely competitive, right? And so there's cutthroat prices. There's people striving for better quality of their products. There are people who are striving for better marketing, right? And so they simply want people to buy their good. Thing is, what how has this been? How has the market changed since then? Monopolies such as, let's say, Apple, monopolies such as McDonald's, monopolies such as Burger King. What do? They use advertisement to make sure that their good is bought. They just use a brand name to do so because they're such a big firm, because they're so available around the world so much. This availability and their huge billboards that they hire to publicize their goods. What happens is it sways people. It thinks that, hey, since it looks so delicious on the billboard, maybe it looked delicious on my plate so far. That's what convinces them further on. And what about the What about the technology that Samsung or not taken? That Samsung beat out. They say that, hey, I have these features. People are convinced, they buy them. Why does it disadvantage firms? For small firms don't have the money or the capital to actually invest in such an amount of advertising in the first place. So why is this non-beneficial for them? They don't have the unfair advantage that richer firms simply have. Even when they might be producing better quality, lower priced goods. So what happens? Consumers no longer think about the price of the goods. They no longer think about the quality of the goods. They only evaluate goods now in their public perception. That is not effective in an economy. And an economy is supposed to have firms that use their resources in the best possible way. Not use the resources to make sure people just know them, people just think it's delicious. People must know it's delicious by eating them. Or people must know it's good by using them. Not just hearing or not taking. But by using that's how market is supposed to work. And that's how it doesn't benefit those small industries that's trying to enter these markets. You see, what is a popular example? Beats, a popular headphone producer. It uses 50% of its credibility, of its investment into advertising. And you know what? It actually works. Even when the quality of their headphones, as you all know, is pure shit in the house today. And what happens then? It's small industry, Audio Technica. They're in the end of the day not really helped in there. Even if Audio Technica does in the end of the day produce better quality and lower priced headphones at the end of the day. So we see people are being manipulated here. People are being convinced to buy the wrong type of good, the good that won't benefit them in the end of the day, and only use their money again and again, and waste their money again and again. And you say, what do we want? How do these consumers, how these people how are they benefited at the end of the day? See, once we remove advertising, it brings the old value into them, the old traditional value of actually using and consuming the good first, and actually knowing whether it's good or not, rather than actually hearing about it and then being dissatisfied when buying it. You see, what happens is, at the end of the day, if we allow consumers to actually know, if we allow consumers to actually buy by actually using them firsthand, it allows them to actually evaluate the goods from now on better on their price and quality. So at the end of the day, better quality goods and lower priced goods rise. They rise in popularity, and hence we produce a much more better and fair economy for these firms, for these consumers, right? And so my case is I rest here saying that the motion helps benefit a good economy.